Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's go to the North Gauteng High Court, which is Pretoria High Court, in the sense of Meyiwa murder trial. Guys, I hope you are taking care of yourselves. The cold front has kicked in and it's freezing. Thankfully, and I am so blessed that I work from home. Thank you, 21st century. I work from home, so I am able to keep myself warm. Other than that, guys, let's get to the crux of the matter as to what happened in court today, and it's on fire. Mr. Mnisi, you are one intelligent human being. I am telling you, I love how you are able to handle both Rata as well as Mr. Baloy, who is clearly flogging a dead horse on his side. And I like the fact that you actually told the court, I know, no master of pronunciation, flogging, potato to potato, 609, kafana type of situation. I loved it. But I also wanted to add one more figure of speech. I mean, listen, don't do this because I don't approve of it, but it's a say. It's an English say that if you want the owner of the dog to come out, the dog until the owner comes out type of situation. So I understand what you are doing there, because it makes no sense that we have 5 people that are in the dock accused of the unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa. And the mastermind who put them in that situation, of course, if it's true, it's them who put themselves in that situation because they are adults. Everybody has a choice. You have a choice when somebody comes to you, irrespective of how desperate you are for money, and say, I want you to go and unalive somebody. And when you take the decision to do it, that is on you and you need to be punished for that. I agree 100%. But the person that came and enticed you with that and then gave you an assignment to do, why they are not in the dog? So flog that horse until it comes alive, because you can tell as well with the prosecutor. This is Mr. Baloy, whom I'm finding out is actually a DPP. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong. But Mr. Baloy is doing everything in his power to avoid the NDPP, the National Public Prosecution Authority, I think it's Batori, to be called on the stand and then account as to why the mastermind is not accused number 6. And I agree with Brigadier Teninda here that beyond what I have done, which was my investigations, what the NPA does, it's them who make that decision. Me, I am told, okay, thank you for your investigations. If there are further evidence and investigations that needs to be done, we shall contact you, and then you go and gather that information for us. But when it comes to indictment, that is the NPA's job. And I agree with that. And why so then? The NDPP or NPA or whoever was responsible for indicting the 5 accused decided, because Kelly Khumalo is still a free woman. She's still free, and yes, she's the mastermind, and her name continuously is mentioned in this trial. And then Mr. Baloy keeps standing up. And I think as well, Mr. Baloy, once upon a time, Mr. Mnisi has said, when you do these necessary interjections, my chain of thoughts gets disturbed. And I think over time he has learned that I will hold on to my point and let Mr. Baloy try to distract me so that I do not follow up with what I was asking in the first place. Mr. Mnisi, brilliant job that you are doing there, and I'm actually very, very proud. Now, let's talk about the metaphor of the river. Now, I don't know why Mr. Mnisi did not remind Mr. Kininda when he was actually using a metaphor, which is a figure of speech, that you collect everything and anything that is relevant to this case, like how a river, when it floods its banks, it takes everything indiscriminately all the way to the ocean. And then Mr. Kininda says, oh, well, it's in respect of this case because a river will even carry what is irrelevant. And I'm like, but then wait a minute, Mr. Kininda. How did accused number 1 and accused number 2 became part of the panel of accused people? Didn't with accused number 1, you arrested him for white powder and ammunition? And then while you were doing that, you're like, oh, by the way, we also need the suspects for the Senzo Meyiwa thing. How did accused number 2 also was picked up? Wasn't a case of Nongoma? And then you were like, oh yeah, this is the second person that we are going to pin this matter on him. That's just my opinion. So indeed, you were that river that took everything, even stuff that was irrelevant, to the ocean. Hence, we are here today. And the part where the picture of our suspicion was fully painted was when you started doing character evidence, which at one point when Mnisi was convicted of that charge, you remember the one that brought in this one? In December of 2023. And when it was being brought into the court, remember what Judge Rata said? This court is not on gossip. We are not going to listen to gossip or character evidence. Remember that? But this time around, it was quiet because it was not the state. Yeah, it was not the state. Anyways, let's leave it there. But the picture was fully painted. How accused number 3, 4, and 5 now are the accused, because they were already serving sentences of this sort of crime of being pupils, inkabi, contract analyzers, because you needed to present this matter to the public of South Africa. And once South Africans find out that, oh, these other 3, this is accused number 3, 4, and 5, are serving lengthy sentences for being inkabi, we will buy it. That's what you guys thought. But you also needed to add 2 more people, which I think that's where the mistake lied. I think if you presented the 3 accused, even though we are questioning a lot of things, we would have left us with a shadow of doubt. Could it be these 3 because they are already serving lengthy sentences for being inkabi? That is court records, right? But then the mistake was with accused number 1 and 2. That is why we're like, this is cooked up. This is cooked up because the NPA, and this is my opinion once again, the NPA was being put under pressure for not finding, together with the South African police, not finding the persons that were involved in the unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa on the 26th of October 2014. And so the NPA needed to find somebody. Somebody needs to be bought. Somebody needs to be accused. Somebody needs to be brought in so that they save face. Remember, this whole case started becoming serious because the Meyiwas involved AfriForum. They said, AfriForum, we are being failed by the South African government in resolving the death of our child who was unalived in front of 7 people. And for years, nothing was happening. And now, because of that, and South Africa, let's put it that way, not wanting to be embarrassed by AfriForum, suddenly we now have people indicted. And by the way, accused number 1 and 2, when they were being charged for accused number 1 for white powder and ammunition, he decided to say, oh yeah, by the way, I want to cough something out of my heart regarding what happened on the 26th of October 2014. I am responsible in the unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa. And then they catch also accused number 2, and he does the same things. Like, oh, by the way, while I'm busy pointing out, I just want to cough up something out of my heart. I am responsible in the unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa. And I will tell you who are the people that I was involved with. I was involved with so, and so. And here we are today. Really? Like, really? So the picture was fully painted by Mr. Gininda. That is why he had to apologize by saying, I don't want to defame them. No, you did not want to defame them, but you wanted this to be on record. You wanted to have this on record so that when the time for the judge to come to a conclusion, he must put that into consideration that this is their nature. This is who they are. And Mr. Mnisi cleverly said, thank you so much, and your apology is accepted. And because the judge has said many a times, he is experienced, 50 years of experience in doing this job, he can separate what's relevant and what's not relevant. Basically, he's telling the court, expunge the character evidence that Mr. Gininda put on the table. Because Mr. Gininda, in my mind, he's running away from this very question of Kelly Khumalo not being indicted and accused number 6. There we go. And then I also find it quite interesting coming from Judge Rata when Mr. Mnisi said how the NPA works or how decisions are made. This is public knowledge. It's true. It is public knowledge. We may not gone to law school and don't know the laws of the country, but I can tell you, as tomorrow will exist, if you committed, let's say you did something and you did not know that it was a crime in South Africa, the same Judge Rata, when you come to his courtroom, he will throw a principle, a South African criminal law principle on you and say to you, sir or ma'am, ignorance of the law is not a defense. Or ignorance of the law is not an excuse. What does that mean? It means us as citizens of this country, we ought to know every crime that exists and how each one of them is criminal or civil. Because you cannot come to a court and say, oh, I did not know that just taking one sweet from the shop was considered stealing. You did not know, but it's stealing nonetheless. And stealing is part of our criminal justice system. So yes, Mr. Mnisi was right. We know things, especially when it comes to the Criminal Procedure Act. We don't know, but y'all, the court, tell us that we have no excuse for saying we did not know this was a crime. So on that one, sir, you exposed yourself that indeed, whatever comes from the defense, you will always try to put the state in a better light in this matter. The state is flogging a dead horse. And then, of course, let's go on with, okay, I did do the river metaphor. NDP deciding, why is the NDPP or DPP not understand to answer this question that Mr. Mnisi has hooked himself onto what's his name, the witness Gininda. Of course, Gininda cannot answer, but at some point he's gonna have to break. At some point, because Mr. Mnisi is like, I ain't moving from here. I am going to build Mamkuku, and until you come out with whatever that was really discussed with you and the NPA. And also, I must also indicate how Mr. Gininda's sermons and lectures in that courtroom, when he's trying to deflate from all this that is being asked, has caused a huge issue of time wasting and state resources getting wasted as well. That's taxpayers' money. The fact that this morning the court started and we were listening to court records that at the end of the day did not produce what Mr. Mnisi wanted them to produce, because the record stops at some point when all you had to do is say yes or no, so that you can also remember some things that you have done as an investigator, so you are able to respond to Mr. Mnisi. But no, you wind and wind and wind and jump into an ocean, come out and basically doing triathlon or something like that, and then you confuse yourself. I, anyways, that is that, and then the other question that I felt needed to be responded to was the connection between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. What made Ginida come to that conclusion? That, yeah, the phone calls were about the arrangement on how to take out Senzo Mewa. I still want to know, and what sort of how did you connect that? You can't say I can't remember or I couldn't. No, that's not evidence. So then let's discard that whole communication in this matter if you don't know. I don't know. That's just my assertion on this one. And then the memorandum and the case docket, which features on both the Kelly Khumalo and the accused, and Kelly Khumalo still being free. Kelly Khumalo is still free. And then this memorandum was put together by the investigating officer to the NDPP or to the DPP or whoever in the NPA. Please call them on the stand. They need to come to the stand and clarify this matter. And Mr. Baloyi cannot avoid that from happening. A life was taken. And he's the one towards the end of before lunch who said was giving a definition of murder in court. Right? And of course, Mr. Mnisi tells Ginida that you believe there was a contractual unaliving. The defense does not believe that. And the client does not believe that either, because there were 7 people in the Khumalo house on the 26th of October, 2014, when Senzo Mewa was unalived, and those people know who pulled the trigger. There was never intruders, my opinion. Ever was intruders. One of the people that were with Senzo Mewa in that house pulled the trigger. And I still believe it was accidental. Whoever came with the gun came there to intimidate. Well, we don't have to go through the story because it's been told over and over, our own theory. And accidentally, the trigger was pulled, hitting Senzo Mewa in the heart and aliving him. So now, even this person, had they came out back then and says it was by accident, in 2025, they would have long had the records expunged long time ago. Unfortunately, the Mewas will still be in pain for the great loss of their loved one. But no, let's cook and keep cooking. And this cookerization is showing itself. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Now, there was a meeting between Donald Trump and Ramaphosa. Guys, I was taught that if you feel some type of way, calm down so that you don't fuck up when you start talking. Emotional intelligence is something that I hold dear to my heart. At some point, we'll talk about it, because I do have opinions of everything that I saw at the White House between Donald Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa, Mr. Cupcake. It was quite interesting, and I must say, wow. And that, guys, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you next time with my new video. And thank you so much for welcoming me back. Those wonderful messages, I appreciate them. I always love you guys, you know that. See you later. Goodbye.